but completely disregarding all of my boundaries.
My first time to see you, Chappell.
We're so disrespectful.
I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second.
I don't know how embarrassed I am now that I'm famous.
Don't say anything too loud because it's going to spook her. So we have a little bit of an interesting topic today. It's not one that I ever thought that I would ever be talking about, but it somehow came across my FYP on TikTok. So basically the drama is involving Chappell Roan, who I recently, as of yesterday, learned her name is not Chappell, it's Chappell. So I'm really sorry if during the video I do call her something else, because that's just, I've only ever seen her name written down, and this is the first time I've actually heard it out loud. I might call her Chappell. If you don't know who Chappell Roan is, Chappell Roan is, she is a fairly recently super famous pop star. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard some of her songs. Like she does Pink Pony Club, you know, do 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 do. Anyway, that's her. So she's pretty much known for wearing these super elaborate, like Lady Gaga style outfits. She's known for having a relatively young audience. Like her fans are mostly young teenagers or maybe in early 20s. She's also known for being really standoffish in public to not just her fans, but to basically everyone around her. She doesn't like to be talked to. She doesn't like to be touched. She doesn't like to be acknowledged in any sort of way, which actually has started some discussions in the past, which we'll get into a little bit later. There's a really famous Brazilian soccer player. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce this correctly. Jorginho. Jorginho has around 5 million followers on Instagram. Recently made a post on his story explaining the incident with his 11-year-old daughter and Chappell Roan. So I'm going to take you through everything in chronological order as best as I can. I'm going to share my thoughts on the whole thing, but make sure that you do stay till the end because there is a twist to the story. So you can pause to read, but it says, I went through a very upsetting situation with my family earlier today. My wife, Kat Cavelli, is in Sao Paulo for Lollapalooza. This morning, my daughter woke up incredibly excited. She even made a sign because she was so happy to see an artist she really admires, or used to admire, Chappell Roan. By coincidence, they're staying at the same hotel as this artist. During breakfast, the artist walked past her table. My daughter, like any child, recognized her, got excited, and just wanted to make sure it was really her. The worst part is that she didn't even approach her. She simply walked past the singer's table, looked to confirm that it was her, smiled, and went back to sit with her mom. She didn't say anything. She didn't ask for anything. What happened next was completely disproportionate. A large security guard came over to their table while they were still having breakfast and began speaking in an extremely aggressive manner to both my wife and my daughter, that she shouldn't allow my daughter to disrespect or harass other people. Honestly, I don't know at what point simply walking past a table and looking to see if someone is there could be considered harassment. He even said he would like to file a complaint with them against the hotel, while my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there in tears. My daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot. I've lived with football, public exposure, and well-known people for many years, and I understand that very well what respect and boundaries are. What happened there was not that. It was just a child admiring someone. It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of fans. At the end of the day, they're the ones who built all of this. I sincerely hope that this serves as a moment of reflection. No one should have to go through this, especially not a child. At Chappell Roan, and he says, without your fans, you would be nothing. And to the fans, she does not deserve your affection. So that's really interesting for him to make such a big public statement like that, to post it on his story. Obviously, people are screenshotting it and they're sharing it now and they're talking about it. Like he's a public figure, right? He's super famous in Brazil. I'm sure for anybody who watches soccer all over the world, which we know how many people in the world watch and appreciate soccer. So I can imagine he's pretty famous in the sports world. I've never heard of him because I don't watch soccer. That's not really my thing, but I can imagine he's like a pretty famous guy. So for him to go and make a public statement like that, to me, that kind of says that there must be some kind of truth behind these allegations, because I can't imagine, like, it's just hard to believe that someone would just go and like blatantly lie like that on their public story. And even like, he even tagged her, right? He tagged Chappell Roan, I think multiple times, and he tagged his wife, and he's putting it out there saying like, guys, this happened and I don't agree with it. So that's the first thing I have to say, is that makes me kind of lean towards believing him and believing the daughter and believing the mom. So Chappell Roan did make a video responding, and she completely denied the whole thing happening, but we're going to get into that in a second. Let's take a look at Chappell Roan's response to this post.
I'm just going to tell my half of the story of what happened today with a mother and child who were involved with a security guard who is not my personal security.
She said that it wasn't her personal security guard. So what I'm assuming she means by that is that it wasn't one of her regular security guards that she has on her team. Maybe he was one that was hired for the day.
I didn't even see a woman and a child. Like, I did not, no one came up to me. No one bothered me. Like, I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that, like, a security guard who was, I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me. They weren't doing anything. It's unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no reason to believe because there's no action even taken. Like, I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy.
So she didn't deny that it happened. So I'm going to assume that that part is true. And she never said that it was the hotel security. She just said that it wasn't her personal security guard. But when you're a security guard, usually you are pretty well versed in what you're supposed to be guarding from based on her previous actions toward fans. And we'll get into that in just a second. I have no doubt in my mind that she told the security guard, I don't want people looking at me. I don't want people talking to me. I don't want people touching me. Make sure this doesn't happen. And the security guard was probably like, all right, bet. Let's make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something.
Not that someone was assuming something and would do something.
And that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
That, like, first of all, she's like not taking any accountability for what happened at all. At all. This is her response. And she was like, it wasn't my personal security guard. Something happened with somebody did something. I'm sorry that you felt uncomfortable. I'm sorry that you felt uncomfortable. Like, what is this response? What is this response? And just the fact that she's like, just the fact that she is just laying in the bed so comfortable and casually. There's this little like face, like what the hell is that? Like, seriously? This is not an apology. This is not an admittance of guilt. This is not this is nothing. This is absolutely, I don't even know what this video is. This video is garbage, to be honest. Like, this video is just garbage. Like, why? I don't even understand why she made it. And I just want to remind people that this lady's 28 years old. She's not a child. I thought that she was maybe like 20, 21. And when I first heard about this incident, like, oh, she's just young. She's just being dumb or whatever. But like, this girl's 28 years old. She's an adult. Like, she's a full grown adult. And this is the way his wife actually ended up coming on. I'm not sure if she posted on Instagram or on TikTok, but this is just a repost of the video that she had made. I couldn't find the original. I'm not sure if it's been deleted or not, but she came on and she shared a little bit more details about the story from her perspective. And she was the one actually staying at the hotel. So I think we should give it a listen.
Hi guys, good morning. Bon dia. I wanted to say something because I'm getting so many messages about this now. And honestly, I didn't realize it would get this crazy. But a lot of people ask me like what actually happened and everything else. And I know that Chappell has responded saying that it wasn't it wasn't her security and that she didn't do it. So 100% this security guard was not a security guard of the hotel. That's what I can say. He looks after artists. So
she does make a point there. Usually the security at a hotel, they're wearing a uniform, and they're usually wearing the same uniform, or they even have the hotel logo on them. Usually if a hotel has security, it's the same security that is around the entire hotel. They're not going to have some like other different person looking after one particular person. So from the description that she's saying, I'm going to imagine that this person was not working for the hotel. So I'm not really sure why Chappell Roan would say that it wasn't her security guard. But I mean, allegedly it wasn't her security guard. So that's a little bit confusing.
I don't know if it was her personal security guard, but he was with her. So that is all I know. Did she send him to do it? Again, I don't know. Look, I would like to hope not, but at the same time, I think that you have a responsibility when you are a celebrity to make sure, I guess, that the people that work for you and that act on your behalf are acting on your behalf. So would he do that if he didn't have her authority to do so? I don't know. If he does, then obviously that's a big problem, because then he's representing her in a way that she doesn't want to be represented. So I think that's really important for her to notice and realize that's not correct. What happened, exactly as she said, she didn't notice anything or anyone because, as my husband said, nothing happened. Literally, we were staying in the same hotel, we were at breakfast, and we noticed a girl walk past with long red hair, very curly, and I said to my daughter, "Oh, do you think that's Chappell Roan?" And she looked and she said, "Oh my God, Mum, do you think it's her?" And so she said, "I'm going to go and have a look outside." And she was sat just outside in the garden area, which we were also free to go into. The door was open. And so I went back to the table to sit and eat, and my daughter walked through the door. She didn't have her phone. She didn't try to take a picture. She didn't approach her. She literally didn't do anything. She just looked at her and smiled. And she came back and she actually said to me, "Mum, I don't know if it's her." Because obviously she looks like, with her costumes and everything, she looks a little bit different. So my daughter said, "Oh my gosh, I'm not sure if it was her. I think it was her, Mum. It really, really looks like her, but I don't know. Maybe it's her sister." She said, "Maybe it's her sister." And I said, "Oh, I don't know, darling." And that was it. We continued our breakfast. And from that, then came the security guard, who, as my husband said, had a very aggressive tone. And I feel...
Okay, I just have to say something quickly. If it had been me and my daughter sitting by ourselves having breakfast, and some big burly dude who's clearly an unmarked security guard, because she was saying he wasn't working for the hotel, but she could tell he was a security guard, so I'm assuming he's like some big beefy dude wearing like an earpiece. If somebody approached my table aggressively when I was sitting alone with me and my daughter, I would have made a scene. And I'm sure the only reason she didn't make a scene is because she knows that her husband is a public figure and she knows how to act while in public. She obviously kept a very calm demeanor about the whole situation, I'm sure. But I can't imagine how she felt inside, especially since she used the words, he had an aggressive tone and he was shaming her daughter and, saying that her daughter was poorly educated. I cannot say that I would react well in that situation if it were me. So I think that really speaks to her character.
If she did not send it, even if she did send him or she didn't send him, I don't know. For me, I feel like it really overstepped a boundary, because he is quite intimidating. He is very large. So for him to come over to a table with just a woman and her daughter eating breakfast, to kind of berate and scold us and say that he was going to complain and tell me that I should be teaching my daughter to be better and that she's badly educated and we should respect people's privacy and we should not harass people and all of these other things. And I did try and explain to him the situation, that she's a child and she was just very excited to see her an artist and singer that she admires, and can he not understand that was all she was doing. And I explained to him also that my husband is also very well known and that she's very used to being around people that are well known, and she would never cross someone's boundaries or overstep a mark. She very much knows the limits, not to ever be rude or make anyone feel. She understands very well. And I tried to explain this to him, and he just kept saying, "Well, if that's the case, then you should know better. You should know how it is. You should know how it is. So you should teach her to be better. You shouldn't allow her to be like this." And I was shocked. And I did actually say to him at the time, I said, "Well, if this is the case that she doesn't even want people to look at her, she is very welcome to eat breakfast in her room, because this here is a public area and I am a paying guest as well as her. So if I want to walk past someone's table and look at them, I have every right to do so. I am not approaching her. I'm not doing anything to make her feel intimidated or nothing. It's an 11-year-old child." So yes, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this now, because it's getting a bit crazy. But lots of people are sending me messages like, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? And then lots of messages now about obviously Chappell's message that she's put out. So I hope that she did not know, and I hope that she did not send her security over to do this. I really think that she's a very, very, very talented artist. We liked her a lot. We came all the way to Sao Paulo to watch the show. It was my daughter's birthday present. She actually asked for tickets to come for her birthday present, which is a little bit ruined because we didn't go to the show last night. But it's how it is. But yeah. Anyways, it's how it is. We'll say no more on it. That's it.
She made a couple of really good points. Like her daughter, her dad is famous. He's an incredibly famous soccer player in Brazil. He has millions of followers on Instagram. I can't imagine that he would not be recognized walking down the street. And she has probably witnessed it. And not only that, has probably met, according to what her mom is saying, has, met other famous people. She has been taught how to behave around them. She might have heard her dad even talk about what it's like having people come up to you all the time, and has probably learned to not maybe do that. At the same time, I can imagine, even if you are, I've heard other famous people say, even when they meet their heroes, they still get excited, even though you're used to seeing famous people, or maybe, you're taught how to behave. If you see somebody who you idolize in front of you, you're going to get excited. I can't imagine that an 11-year-old, even though maybe she was taught by her parents how to act around famous people, I can't imagine that she would be not excited. I'm just trying to give, a little bit, I'm just trying to understand both sides here a little bit. But her mom is saying that she knows how to act and that she wasn't acting inappropriately. Like, I'm trying to think of the scene here. Maybe the daughter did do like a couple of walk-bys. Maybe she was peeking in and whatever. She felt like, and Chappell Roan was like, I didn't like that. The fact that they were sitting down at their table and the security guard still felt the need to go up to them, that's aggressive to me. I think that's unnecessary, and I think that's so aggressive. And especially since it was just the mom and the daughter by themselves. Like, what is that really necessary? I think it was completely uncalled for. So at this point in time, everything kind of seems like it's a he said, she said situation, similar to when we were finding out the story about DoorDash. In the beginning, everybody was taking DoorDash girl's side. And then kind of as people started realizing more and more facts about the story, people changed their mind really, really quickly, including myself. By the way, if we do find out more about her going to trial, I will be making another video about that in the future. But for now, let's talk about why everyone seems to be really hating on Chappell Roan and jumping to conclusions that even in her response video, she may not be telling the whole truth. Like something seems off here. Even though she said it wasn't her security guard, it must somehow be her security guard. People in the comments on any video on TikTok that is about her, it's like 90% hate right now. They're really upset with her. They can't believe that she would treat a child like this, etc., etc. Personally, before finding out the new information, I was in the same boat. Like, I didn't believe Chappell Roan's story. I didn't like her response video. Like I said, I thought it was complete garbage, and I still kind of do, because I feel like if she had taken a more serious approach to making that video and maybe explained herself a little bit more people would have believed her. But just the way that she worded it, the way that she was kind of like about it, to me, like, I don't know, I didn't take it seriously. Anyway, so the reason why a lot of people are really hating on her is because of her past behavior. Because if you are trying to judge somebody in a situation and you really don't have any proof of what happened, what do people usually do? They judge what might have happened based on previous past situations. And if we do that with Chappell Roan, her past, the things that she has said and done in the past towards fans kind of lead you in the direction, not even kind of, absolutely 100% lead you in the direction that she would most likely do something like this again. Anyway, let's go through a few of those videos. So this video is from when she was visiting Paris, I believe, and she was going to a restaurant and she ran into a couple of fans as she was exiting her vehicle, it looks like. And they were trying to get her to sign stuff or take pictures or whatever.
So I'm just trying to go to dinner. And I've asked these people several times to get away from me.
Please step to the
This
side.
person-
Step to the side.
This person I've asked several times to go away, and they will not. They're hiding their face because they're ashamed. Because I've asked them. These are all the people that are
Can you sign in, Chappell?
completely disregarding all of my
My first time to see you,
boundaries.
Chappell. It's my
So
first time
this
to see
is,
you.
then go away.
Happy to see you.
So all of you, I'm
Love you
asking
too.
you kindly to please leave me alone
Yes.
and
Yes,
stop
sure. Yes.
following me and harassing me.
Can you just sign in,
Thank
Chappell?
you.
What are you wearing,
No,
Chappell?
I'm not gonna sign.
No,
Thank you so
sign.
Okay,
much.
Chappell,
So
no
this
problem.
is
You
what
have
it's
your
like,
choice, yeah.
if you're wondering how it is.
And what are you wearing?
Thank
Please step to the
you.
side.
Chappell, your fashion icon.
Fashion
icon right now, Chappell.
She's like basically mocking her fans trying to get an autograph from her on the way to a restaurant. And, you know, I can understand how frustrating it must be to be famous. Like, oh my God, sucks for you. But I understand how frustrating it could be to have people just bombarding you and being in your face all the time. But, you know, here's another one. Here's her making a TikTok complaining about her fans coming up to her on the street.
If you saw a random woman on the street, would you yell at her from the car window? Would you harass her in public? Would you go up to a random lady and say, "Can I get a photo with you?" Would you be offended if she says no to your time because she has her own time? Would you stalk her family? Would you follow her around? I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't give a if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. It's weird how people think that you know a person just because you see them online or you listen to the art they make. That's weird.
Okay, I can kind of agree with what she's saying there, but it's her attitude. It's her attitude about it and her entitledness. I mean, like she wanted to be famous. She spent her entire life creating music to become famous. That was her goal, to be a famous singer. And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve boundaries. Everybody deserves boundaries. No one deserves to feel unsafe, harassed, or feel like they're constantly being watched. But what I'm saying is there's a difference between setting expectations for boundaries and getting genuinely upset and acting surprised when those boundaries are crossed. She's a fairly new famous artist, right? So her career, her songs went viral. She got super famous really quick. So I can understand that maybe she's not used to it. At the same time, you can't really have a viral career, a growing fan base, wall-to-wall packed shows, millions of people streaming your music and whatever else without people becoming invested in you. That's the whole point of growing a fan base, about getting super famous, is to get people invested. You want people to be invested in you. If people are not invested in you, you don't have a career as an artist. You can set boundaries. If you don't want to sign autographs, you don't have to sign autographs. But there's no reason for you to be rude to people. There's no reason for you to be angry or upset that people want your autograph and that you're walking down the street and people want your autograph. There are so many videos of her being rude to fans. If I were to go through them all, it would take all day. But this is her going to an award show, and I just want you to listen to what the girl that is preparing the paparazzi, what she says before Chappell Roan comes.
Okay, Chappell's coming. No one can yell at her or she will be so quiet. Everyone be quiet, be nice, smile.
Don't get violent on night. Can you do a spin for us, please?
She says, okay, everybody, Chappell Roan is coming. Be quiet, don't yell, be nice. I'm curious how many other artists the paparazzi needs to be given a warning for before they come out. I have never seen that before. Genuinely, like that's new for me. Like, that's a little bit embarrassing. She's almost being babied. Like whoever, I'm not sure who that lady was. I'm assuming she's a staff member, but she had to go out and she had to just like warn and prepare the paparazzi. Like, oh dear, like Chappell Roan's coming. You guys better, use your inside voices. Don't say anything too loud because it's gonna spook her. She's gonna get mad. I don't know. Like, Like, what a weird way to be. That to me is just, that's odd. While she was performing, she noticed that one fan yawned. She called out this fan mid-song saying, "Don't yawn. Don't yawn. How dare you yawn during my concert? Oh my God." Like, you don't know if this girl didn't sleep for 2 days to get there. You don't know where she's coming from. Maybe she's flying from across the world and she took an overnight flight, hasn't been able to sleep since getting off the plane, had to drive 6 hours, hasn't eaten, like whatever. You don't know. Like, God forbid somebody yawns at your concert. But no, she had to call her out. She had to be like, you know what? Don't yawn at my concert. Obviously, there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions on this whole situation. So I'm just going to go through some of the comments. So this comment with 287,000 likes says, "Can we just collectively respect her wishes and not continue to make her famous?" Honestly, that is a good point. She did say in a recent interview that she has only recently been famous. So she's only really been famous for about 2 years. So considering she's 28, that's not a very big portion of her life, right? And let's just go ahead and play that interview.
I did not grow up famous. Like, I very much was not famous until this year. So I understand like how nerve-wracking and how I don't want to bother you, but I'm going to come up and say how much I love you, because like I understand where people are coming from. I know they don't know how unsafe it makes me feel. And I know they don't know how embarrassed I am now that I'm famous.
Okay, so she says, "I'm embarrassed to be famous." I can completely understand someone being famous, not wanting to be in the limelight all the time. You know, "Oh, I just want to be treated like a normal person." I get that. I 100,000 million bajillion % understand that. And I agree. Like, if I were to be super, super famous, I would hate being recognized everywhere. I get that, you know, like I can't even imagine how uncomfortable it would be walking around outside, not even being able to go to the grocery store or go out to eat without having mobs of people come up to you and say, "Oh my God, like, can I give you a hug? I want your autograph," like blah, 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 blah. I would be so overwhelmed all the time. That being said, I don't think she understands how lucky she is. If she is so opposed to being recognized and paparazzied all the time, explain to me why she constantly wears these like big, extravagant, like Lady Gaga style outfits and the big makeup, and also like the whole Grammys debacle that happened. Was it last year, where she wasn't wearing her dress, ended at her chest and didn't, like, it was, I don't know if it was attached to rings on her chest or what that situation was. I'm not going to get into that discourse, but more power to you, especially as a woman. I'm in no way like shaming her for dressing that way for the Grammys. That was obviously a really big and bold statement. You can't tell me that someone who would wear that to the Grammys is also the person who is like, "I don't like being famous. I don't like being noticed." There was and I think that's why people are really getting frustrated, because it seems so contradictory that she is, you know, she's complaining like she needs these boundaries and she wants these boundaries, and yet she is going so far out of her way to hire this designer to dress her up so extravagantly. You know, the Lady Gaga actually said, "If you don't want to be famous, you don't have to be." And let's just watch that little clip here.
People that say that they can't escape the paparazzi are full of shit. I don't spend money on houses and lots of cars, but I do spend money on security, and they never find me.
I don't know. I feel if she really wanted to be out of the public eye, you know, she doesn't really need to do that. She doesn't even necessarily need to be going to all these award shows. So I feel like that's really contradictory, and I think that a lot of people do agree with me. And it just sounds like she likes the idea of being famous, but she doesn't. She's kind of like cherry picking, right? Like, she wants to be famous, she wants to be more famous, and but yet she doesn't want the fans. She doesn't want the responsibilities that come with being famous. Like, for example, her audience is so young, like young teenagers. And I'm not saying that like all famous people have a responsibility to keep their fans happy. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but if you are deciding to go out and be in the public eye and make yourself, you know, you're pushing so hard to be more and more famous, you should at least be respectful, you know, and you should at least be understanding that they are the reason why you are so famous. Here she is dressed like a pig.
I just want to look like a pig. It's a dream come true. What more can a girl want?
Basically, from what we've gathered so far, is Chappell Roan really does not want to be famous. She doesn't like the attention. She's always complaining about people coming up to her. She doesn't like to interact with her fans. I do agree that boundaries should be set. You're not comfortable with signing autographs and giving hugs. You don't have to sign autographs and give hugs. It's not the fact that she doesn't want it. A lot of people don't sign autographs. A lot of people don't give hugs. There are people who don't want to be approached. It's her reaction and her attitude. There's a lot of people who are saying that she is just receiving this negative attention, these comments, this hate or whatever, simply because she's a woman. And it has nothing to do with the way that she's acting and that she's just standing up for her boundaries. I obviously can't prove that if a man were to do this exact same thing, he wouldn't get hate, because I've looked and I've tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. This obviously has nothing to do with Justin Bieber, but so this is really random. But this is a video of like Justin Bieber getting approached by his fans, and this is how he reacts.
No.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. This is my home, you know what I mean? This is where I live, and I don't appreciate you guys being here. You guys can be anywhere else, this is my home, you know? This is where you know, at the end of the night when you come home, and you want to relax, this is my space to do that. So I'd appreciate it if you guys could let me do that.
Can I get a call?
Yes.
He's very calm. He's trying to be understanding, but he's also setting a boundary. There's no swearing. There's no whipping out his phone and saying, look, this is what it's like. Like, this is what it's like to be famous. And like getting in their face and pointing at them and mocking them. He just tells them like, no, I'm not giving you a hug. You're in front of my house. That's not okay. I'm going to go inside now. And he leaves it at that. And I'm not saying that the fans are in the right to be in front of their house. That's not appropriate whatsoever. But his reaction, I believe, was appropriate. He set a boundary. He followed through with the boundary. Nobody was offended and nobody was hurt. I also want to show how I don't believe it's misogynistic, because everybody knows who Messi is, the very famous soccer player. His bodyguard is known for being overly aggressive, and people give him shit for it all the time. They always are hating on him. Oh, he doesn't even let kids near him. He tackled a child. Like, he's one of the most famous people in the entire world, and yet he gets criticized for his bodyguard's actions. So for them to say that it's misogynistic, that she's getting criticized for her bodyguard's actions, it's simply not true. And that's why I think people are getting so frustrated, because, you know, the people who are genuinely her fans, they're seeing her react this way to people who have literally built her career up from the ground. And she's coming across so irritated, and she's coming across as if even just their existence is irritating to her. It makes her seem really ungrateful. And I can't imagine what it's like. I can't imagine what it's like as a fan to watch her. Like, I'm watching this as a person. I didn't know who she was, so I was pretty unbiased. And just her tone and her attitude, I find it's off-putting to me. It's off-putting. So I can't imagine being a fan, somebody who genuinely likes her and looks up to her, and it would destroy my world. I would be so upset, especially to experience something like that at 11 years old, if what happened allegedly did really happen. Okay, guys, so we have an update from the security guard. The security guard obviously saw that this was going viral and decided to post on Instagram to... I would have never guessed what he was gonna say. So he said that he was the security guard who approached the mother and the daughter at the breakfast table. He claimed that he was perfectly nice to them. Most importantly, he said that he was not there for Chappell Roan. So basically the sum of the post says he was in fact the security guard at the hotel. He was the one to approach the mother and daughter at the breakfast table. He did mention that he was calm and with good intention for the interaction. But, and he's like a big, scary looking dude. So for him to take it upon himself to approach this mother and daughter just sitting and having breakfast. He said the reason why he approached the mother and daughter was because there were some incidents at the hotel, I guess earlier, maybe the day before or whatever, that had caused the hotel staff to be on high alert. And like, so that just honestly, it answered one question. Like, obviously it was like Chappell Roan had nothing to do with it, which is really interesting considering her past behavior. So she is completely innocent in all of this, and this is just a huge misunderstanding. And that being said, I'm curious about what the actual situation was that involved the mother and daughter, because what exactly were they doing? That security, who was apparently just like not even involved whatsoever, decided to involve themselves. But what were they doing that made him approach them? Because that's super weird behavior to me. Chappell Roan's name is cleared now. Although I still believe that she really needs to work on her interactions with the public in general, because like obviously people are going to jump to conclusions like I did so easily and so quickly based on her behavior. So that kind of speaks for itself. But I'm happy that she was not actually involved in this, and hopefully her name will be cleared and this will be expunged from her. Honestly though, with this new information, I just have more questions, and I feel like this doesn't actually solve anything for me, because why, if this security guard wasn't even involved with Chappell Roan, why was he going up to this mother and daughter? Like, what exactly were they doing that a security guard that didn't belong to the hotel, didn't belong to Chappell Roan, and was apparently with some other random person, why did he take it upon himself to approach these two? Like, for what reason? I need to know the full story, because I feel like we don't have it. So there you have it. It was 100% the security guard's fault. Whoever that guy was, seriously, I would like to know more information about what exactly was going through that guy's mind that made him feel so like it must have been a power trip or what, because if he was not working for Chappell Roan and he wasn't working for the hotel, he said he was there for another person. What in his, like, why was he power tripping so hard where he was like, oh, this girl is looking at that artist over there who I'm not working for and I'm not in charge with and I'm not involved with, but I'm just going to go over there and say something because I don't think that's right. And like, that's insane. That's insane. And such a big, like, he's like a huge dude. Like, I know I've said that so many times, but you have to understand, like, as a woman, having some random guy come up to you in any tone other than like being extremely nice and friendly is terrifying. It is terrifying. It doesn't matter how big they are. It's terrifying. And the fact that he is massive, like you saw the videos that I put on here. Like, he's a huge dude. It's just like, that's traumatizing for real. And I'm not even over exaggerating. Like, that's not okay. I feel really bad. I feel really bad for the daughter that this whole misunderstanding ruined her birthday. And she was, so upset and so hurt that she thought that this was the doing of Chappell Roan. I am interested if Chappell Roan is going to maybe talk to that guy, that security guard, and be like, what happened? Why did you basically started this whole thing? I hope that we find out more. I hope that something else happens. I hope that little girl maybe gets tickets to see Chappell Roan's next concert in her area. something like that. I don't know. That would be really nice to see. That's pretty much all I have to say about this whole thing. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think and if I missed anything. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. It was a little bit of a wild ride, but all in all, do I think that she's a bad person? No. Do I think that she needs some coaching on how to behave in the public eye? Yes. Do I think that she needs to relax a little bit with complaining on social media about people noticing her? Yeah. You know, there are plenty of people out there that are super famous and they don't make headlines all the time because they're just living their best life and they're not living in the spotlight. But clearly she wants to be famous. She just doesn't want the attention that comes with it, which I think is kind of backwards. And yeah, let me know what you think because I'm pretty much done with this topic. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and comment down below for engagement. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you soon. Bye.